Hey, this is Mark. I'm coming to you from Fort Hood, Texas, and this is my brother Joe.
What's going on?
And I'm bringing his hobby to you guys today, which is brewing beer. And we're going to see what this is all about because I don't know anything about it. Other than drinking beer, but
yeah,
I'm about to learn something myself.
I learn something every time I do it, and it's always fun.
And what are we making today?
Today we're making a New England style IPA, which is there's a West Coast and East Coast versions of IPA. Most of the ones out on the West Coast are pretty hoppy and clear. Most of the ones on the East Coast, at least what I've had, are kind of juicy and hazy.
Yeah.
And so doesn't always have to be that way, but we're doing a juicy and hazy one today because that's what we like, you and me.
Timeline on the whole process. Today we're gonna.
Today the brew day. I mean, I think we can be about 5 hours.
Yeah.
Total. But then you go into multiple days after that for fermentation, and fermentation normally lasts 7 days or so, and then this one's going to be dry hop during the fermentation, during part of the fermentation. So I think we'll probably keg the beer after about between 10 and 14 days after the brew day, and then it'll age a little bit in the keg when we're ready to drink.
Cool.
So, but this there's no sparging required on this. You can do it, but I got a big enough kettle that I don't need to sparge.
Yeah.
I can have all the water for the thing in it at the same time.
Yeah, it's like the perfect setup.
Well, I've been researching a lot on this, and there's several different brands and types. When Spike Brewing came out with this one, I had to have it, and I'm going to shout out to Spike. They had this 20% off thing on Black Friday or Cyber Monday or whatever
Hit
you
it
call
up.
it. I didn't think twice about pulling the trigger on getting this. 20% off on this rig is good money.
Oh yeah. You have to plug in here.
Well, and the whole thing is, the only other thing that I really wanted to do to make this setup better.
Is that 50 amp rated or is that 30 or what?
30 amp.
Okay.
30 amp. So right now,
You could have got an RV one probably.
I tried. I talked to the guy at Lowe's,
Yeah.
and he was like a master electrician.
Yeah.
And he said you should need to do it this way.
Okay.
But what I wanted is a GFCI, because so anybody's out there, anything you see when you're brewing and around water and this other stuff, you want to have GFCI.
Right.
The problem is most
Circuits are already GFCI?
no. They're required in a laundry room. Regular outlets are required to be GFCI. Everything except the dryer plug-in. So what a lot of people do is they recommend putting a GFCI in the breaker, back at where the 30 amp. The problem is they're like $100 and something bucks, and I'm not an electrician. I don't want to get in. I don't want to mess around with the box. So it would be a little bit safer, but I still think it's okay.
Yeah.
To go without just like this. And I haven't had a problem yet, so hopefully don't get shot. So what we want to do is suck from the bottom into here, and then we're driving from here up to the top.
Okay. So how long does 5 gallons of beer last you?
It can go pretty quick. But lately, I've been brewing it and giving most of it away.
Yeah.
It's more of a hobby and fun.
Like you guys have big get-togethers and stuff like that, and if they have cookouts and stuff, that'd be awesome to supply some beer.
Yeah, like on Thanksgiving Day, we had some people over after they all did, with the COVID thing and everything, nobody's getting together anymore like they do normally in the military. But we sat down, drank a little, couple of beers off the other one. So, okay, so this is what I wanted to test. So, all during the brew and the boil. So you got the mash first, which is going to at a low temperature, 153 degrees. Then we're going to pull the basket out and we're going to boil. We're going to have about 6 gallons of wort in the kettle, and we need to cool it down quickly from 212. Well, at that point it'll probably be about 180 degrees, maybe 200.
That's after the boil. Okay.
That's after the boil. And we need to cool it down. First of all, we whirlpool it and get all the hop debris and all that other crap out of it. Then we need to run it through this thing and cool it. The way this thing works is you have a hot and cold side.
Oh, okay.
So this is my cold side, and you want your temperature gauge so you know what temperature the wort coming out is.
Yeah.
And then this is the hot side going in. So you got hot liquid coming in and hot...
cold coming in?
Hot, no.
Oh, that's coming out.
Yeah, because it's counterflow.
Oh, okay.
It's counterflow. So you're going to have cold water coming in here and cold water coming out. because the cold water will go like this and they'll counterflow each other, and then that's what makes it cool down so quickly.
That's cool.
So what I wanted to do is test this. Okay.
So once you get it chilled down to what you want on this gauge right here,
then I'll absolutely know that everything in the system.
Yeah.
Plus, we'll be able to see it here on the element. I'll leave the element on, and it'll have the core temperature there.
Oh, that's cool.
All right, let's check all our connections, and we'll get some water in this bad boy and start heating it up.
All right.
The mash. The strike water is what's called.
So you got to sterilize the bottom of that after you set it on the ground, or what? Or does it matter?
Well, we're gonna boil water in this. So
Okay.
right now, it doesn't matter. Anything after the boil,
Yeah.
you got to sterilize and keep everything. I have sanitizer and all that other stuff.
Okay.
Anything before the boil,
Okay.
we're gonna boil.
So that's
this
cool.
water.
No, I didn't know that kind of stuff.
Yeah. You want to stay away from distilled water? You can, but then you have to add minerals back into
Oh,
it.
yeah.
It's really important for beer. So there's a whole science on water profile. I mean, honestly, the easiest thing you can do is buy natural mineral spring water, and it has the right minerals in it. If you do like your own reverse osmosis or any other stuff, you can use tap water. Just put it through a carbon filter. Get rid of the chlorine. You don't want chlorine in your beer. So let's load up the kettle. Pull it down. I'm gonna cut it up here to let it.
Yeah.
Then
There you go. Can you grab some more?
yeah,
So this is where you have to worry about that electrical.
right. So that's the reason why I try to keep all these wires up off the floor.
Yeah. Wait, you see a marker in there?
Yeah, it's graduated.
Oh,
yeah.
I was wondering, like, how in the world is he judging? Let's see.
Yeah.
Yep, he's got a gauge in there. 9.75.
9.47.
Oh, 9.47.
I'm gonna set it for 152. And the reason why I'm gonna do that is because our grains, when we actually put them into the water, it will reduce the temperature about 2 degrees.
Huh.
So this will at least 2 degrees, maybe a little bit more. But today's is about 70 degrees here in Texas, so the grains are going to be about 70 degrees when we put them in the sun, and so that way we keep the 150 degrees mash the whole hour when we start it. So for now, all we got to do is wait for the
Oh yeah, seeing bubbles coming off
Yep.
it already.
wait for the water to get to mash temperature, and we'll mash in.
Cool. Heating the greens.
I just want to make sure that they're not cold and bring the temperature.
Like I said, he covers everything in detail, down to the minute details. So.
It's the military thing.
Man, this looks like oatmeal.
It is.
Oh, it is.
That's what
Flaked
causes,
oats.
that's what causes stuff to be hazy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So today we have.
Great Western white wheat milled.
Yep. And then flaked wheat.
Flaked wheat. Is that the same as that? Oh, that's
No.
Oh, one of them's oats and one's wheat.
Yes.
Huh.
And so what'll happen is this is the base malt, 2-row. This happens to be Viking, which is I think I don't know if it's a name brand or whatever. Normally use Bryce or whatever, but you know these brew kits come. They're really convenient from More Brew. And then
Is that local to here, or is it you ordered it?
no,
They
these
ordered-
guys are they actually have 2 warehouses, one in Pennsylvania and the other one in California. But they have a bunch of cool beer kits.
Yeah.
And this one happens to be a highly rated like New England Juicy IPA, so that's the reason I got it from them. I could have come up with my own formula, got a whole bunch of different stuff, but you know, bottom line, you got your base malts and you got your other stuff you add in. Most of this makes it hazy.
Okay.
You know, because we're not going to filter any of that out. A lot
Yeah.
of it. This is a big grain bill for 5 gallons.
Yeah.
So, I mean, 16. We're talking for the whole setup and the yeast we're using and all the other stuff. And yeast is, you know, $10, $12. About $60, you know, maybe
Yeah.
55. It's not the cheapest thing in the world. And trust me, it's not cheaper to brew your own beer than to buy it. But there's a lot of coolness about brewing your own beer.
Oh yeah.
So.
Make it exactly what you want. You can fine tune it.
Yeah. I'm priming the pump now, and then we will open back up here. Open it up just a little bit and turn the pump on.
Got a little sauna going here.
Right. So, as you'll see, the whirlpool goes. These are just good for 2 things. One, circulating the water around. at the end of the boil, because what's going to happen is during the boil, there'll still be little pieces of grain and things like that in there. Not a lot. We'll extract most of the grain out with the basket. But what's going to happen is you want a thing that's called a true cone, because we're going to throw hops into the water during the boil, and it's going to leave a lot of. It's called true, basically, and it's just leftover hops and all these kind of things. By doing this whirlpool like this, it kind of centers it and collects it. You do it for about 15 minutes after, before you chill down, and you'll be able to, once we pull liquid out of this to go into the fermenter at the end, because we'll pull it straight from this into the fermenter, it'll leave behind that true, so you don't get it into your fermenter because you don't want it. And I'm gonna have to break out the recipe to see exactly what goes when. So just now, just so you have the background date on it. The way hops normally work is they're additions to the boil, and also additions to fermentation after the boil, after it boils over. The week-long process of turning it into beer. You add hops in there. It's called dry hops. During the boil, though, it's for bittering, because this is like sugar water, right?
Yeah.
The hops really bring the bitterness into the beer, and so because you don't want to drink like cranberry juice, and also for flavors, different flavors. That's where you get those citrus notes and the pine notes and all those different things. So normally, what happens is
So hops are just for flavoring, then, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's no alcohol associated with it.
Right.
It doesn't create any of that stuff. It's all flavor. This setup, Spike Brewing, that's where all this. Yeah.
Equipment came from. So.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
All right.
Yeah, you can give it a few minutes.
Dryer not working now?
Yeah, not right now. Not for the next 2 hours.
I have clothes I gotta dry, Joe.
2 hours, sorry.
Can you put it on the washer side?
No, there's the only thing that runs on this amount of electricity is that
My
dryer.
clothes are gonna be mildew.
No, they're not. Not for 2 hours, Jen.
Oh my god.
Can I add that to the video? That's gonna be hilarious.
What's more important, mildewed clothes or beer? Normally, a lot of people mill their own grains. I don't really have the equipment to do that, so I buy them pre-milled.
Man, what's the next step? Just farming your own grains?
I know that's what some people do. Some people grow their own hops.
Really?
Well, this is a lot of grain for a 5-gallon batch, so. Ends up getting.
Looks like feed.
Yeah, smells good too. Can you smell it?
No, I can't.
Well, you'll smell it when we pour it in the water.
Yeah.
It's super. Okay, so what we need to do is adjust our whirlpool to up here, because once we put the grains in, we want to suck water up from the top, let it flow back over the top of the grains that whole hour while we're
Suck it
mashing.
from the bottom down here.
From here.
And it's going to be putting it back up here, so he's just changing the location of it.
So here I'm gonna close the valve and come out of this, but we're gonna go straight up here quickly. So I've pulled up Brewfather, which is and this last week I put this recipe in. So basically, I put all the grains that we're using, the different types of hops, and when they're added in on the brew, and then it has a bunch of other calculations that have gone into it, like the yeast I'm going to use and temperatures. This is actually 153. Yeah, that's where we want to be, 153.
For 60 minutes?
Well, yeah, 60 minutes for the mash and then 60 minutes for the boil. So the boil is a different thing.
And what's this?
We're going into the mash. So this is our brew tracker. So we're going to mash.
Oh, it times it and everything.
Yeah, that's the reason I got this program. So
Oh, yeah.
you do a quarter of it at a time, and then we'll see how it goes. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you can let it go, man.
It does smell good.
Yeah.
It smells like my breakfast every morning.
Yeah, oatmeal, right?
Yeah, I got it. How far are we into it? About 30 minutes. So you can see it's getting hazy now.
We are 35 minutes into the mash.
All right. 35 minutes.
We got 35 minutes left.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And we're starting to get some hazy wort.
We're at the end of the mash. We did an hour mash at 153 degrees, and we're about to shut the pump down, drain the basket, get rid of the grains, and then get ready to move into the boil. We'll do the hop additions for the next hour or so. So everything looks good. Color looks good. I think we're in the right spot. I will do a pre-boil specific gravity reading here in a minute, and we will film that when we get into it. But for now, let's just. I'm gonna need your assistance, so
All right.
hang something up, and we will.
Sounds good. Put the camera up here.
Please, I need to see. Oh wait, what's that?
Ready? You go from that side. That's it. All right. Really good. So anyway, it told me when the mash was complete. I moved on, and now we're going to start the boil tracker, and it'll actually tell me when the additions go in. So you see at the 60-minute addition, that's right in the beginning. We're going to put a 1/4 ounce of tomahawk.
You don't start that until it starts
Columbus.
boiling?
Right. This at the beginning of the boil. There'll be a hot breaker right when it starts bubble, and that's it. And then we'll go from there. And then we're gonna have several 10-minute additions, and then we'll have some additions at the end, right before we roll.
All right.
So, enough. Yep. Perfect. It's looking pretty hazy.
Oh yeah, that's a nice haze.
Okay, so there are temperature corrections that have to be done for all this, but we're just gonna take the basic reading now. And we'll, I can figure out the.
Potion feeling.
So that is.
You want to be in the green or the orange or the?
So you want to be in the orange before fermentation.
All right.
You want to be in the green on the top after fermentation.
That's looking pretty good. What'd you put it on?
It's 80% of full power.
Oh.
So when it comes up to a boil, you can adjust
I
that way.
see.
Because all you want to do is get it up to a boil. You don't care about the temperature.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
so
Got it.
because some things they'll boil at 210. It depends on your altitude.
Okay.
So.
So just get it to a boil.
When you get it to a boil, and then we start the clock, and then you can regulate based on the percentage of the thing to keep it at the boil.
Yeah.
And like if I want a hard rolling boil, I can go up to 100% of the maximum capacity of the element. 80% is a good place to start, and normally we'll go down because you don't want to overflow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
Cool.
yeah. There it is.
Is that the wave?
The wave's coming. We're about to hit hot break and have a boil.
Smells like wet oatmeal.
Groovy Haze boil addition. We're going to do a 1/4 ounce Columbus right now at the beginning of the boil. Okay, so I got a 1/4 ounce Columbus, which is right here, and we are going to go straight into the boil. Ooh, now we got a rolling boil. We're going to have to come down from 80%, or we're definitely not going to have 5 gallons.
Yeah. Because you see how much is coming off right now.
Okay, so
Oh, yeah.
check out the hops.
Jay, we have to wear a mask at the PX.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's it. Put them in. 1/4 ounce. We'll go from there. We will do another hop addition 50 minutes from now, with 10 minutes left in the boil. And at that same time we do the hop addition, we'll add the extra sugar that's going to bring the gravity up so that we
All right.
have. But this thing is rocking and rolling so much, I think we may need to go down another 10%. So I'm going to
Just
keep it
keep
down
it at a boil?
7 to 6. So you know what we're going to do with these ports. This one is what we just the
Elbow.
The elbow we just did on the bottom. This one is going to be a racking arm. So in a racking arm, when you rack the beer off, you pull the beer off of this yeast cake that'll be in this area. This is where you pull it off in keg and put it in wherever. And also I'll carbonate it through this.
Okay.
So this is a port for sampling. So like halfway through the fermentation, I want to take a gravity reading like we did earlier. Do that to see if I've met my final gravity, so I know the fermentation is over. This is a temperature port, and then up here will be, in the beginning we'll have nothing here, but I will put a temperature coil to, we don't really need one because it's a 70-degree fermentation. And then up here will be a blow-off cane for the carbon dioxide that's created from the fermentation will blow off into the Cascade is good.
What was the other one? The first one we put
The
in?
first one was Columbus.
Was that the same? The very, very.
Smell the difference. You can smell the difference.
Yeah, I like that one better.
Yeah.
The very first.
Columbus is the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
Columbus.
the one. Yeah.
And this is Cascade.
Write that down. We like Columbus.
Yeah. Well,
Smelling better.
yeah. This is how you really get the yeast going. All right, so right now we're at 0 on the boil. So we've done our 60 minutes, and we're going to add 3 hop additions for the final thing before we do the whirlpool and get this stuff cooled down to get it into the fermenter. So we're going to add a 1/2 ounce of Amarillo, 1/2 ounce of Mosaic, and a 1/2 ounce of Simcoe into the kettle and start whirlpooling and bring the temperature down. So look, we're 6 3/4.
Oh yeah.
So
Is that good?
I think so.
So that'll probably hold 3/4. And
Elements off, our
the
power's
lines.
on, so we're going to track our temperature. I'm going to turn the pump on in a few minutes.
All right.
We start our whirlpool.
Circulate.
But I want to give it a few minutes to
How long do you whirlpool?
kind of settle. 15 minutes.
Okay.
And then after the whirlpool, we're going to cool it down and put it in the fermenter.
Okay.
So
It's almost
pump
there.
on.
Look at that.
It all depends on the... There we go.
Look, it's like foamy now.
All right, so we're going to go 15 minutes whirlpool, and then we'll let it sit for a minute before, because we're going to pull this off before we cool it. And you're trying to get, what you're trying to do is all that residual crap
Yep.
that you have in this
Get spin down in the middle.
you want to spin it down in the middle, and so that when I pull the beer off here into the fermenter,
Yeah.
you want the minimal amount of residue as possible. So
And you're just gonna leave like a 1/2 inch of stuff in there.
it's about on this size vessel, it's
Yeah.
probably a 1/2 gallon.
All right. So he's got one hose running over here, and it goes over to the chiller. And basically, I guess it's like, got a little bit of a leak there. We've got a jacket that goes around another tube in here, and then it goes back out here. So this is on the inner side, this is on the outer side, and this is like about 75-degree water that's passing through the outer jacket. And then we're going to take the wort that we boiled and run it through the inner jacket. It's going to cool it off really quick. So hopefully that's the way it's going to work. That's the way it's explained to me. And
Yep, that's what we're gonna
last two, man.
That's it.
Oh no, we're not going to be able to cook
That's
the
experience.
carne
That's experience.
asadas later.
You can't mess that up. You put it on the grill, and you take it off. That
Nice. Look, you made that, man.
I made this.
That is good
I made
too.
this.
Wait till you taste that. It's really good. It is.
It is. All right. And here, back to where we
That's where we're coming back in. Okay. Cool.
And we're going to monitor the temperature. So
Valves on?
Valves on. Pump on.
You just went for it, didn't you?
I did it. Let's see what happens.
Let's see if we get any spray, man.
So counterflow, we're at 80.
We were at 75, so.
That's it. I definitely know it's going to pop up, but we're at 61 on the in the kettle.
And the reason we're chilling it really quick is why? Reduce.
So what we want to do is you don't want to get bacteria and oxidation in the beer. So you want to pull it down from a temperature where it's safe from bacteria to the low pitch temperature where the yeast can survive when you throw it into the fermenter. You can do that quickly so you don't get all that bacteria and all that extra stuff in there. So,
So it's working.
because to move stuff from 200 degrees to 70 within a short time frame is hard.
So this will probably only get down to like 75, 76 degrees probably.
It'll go farther than that. I mean, it depends on my tap water.
That's what I'm saying. We only the tap water running through is only 75 degrees. So
I didn't test it, so I don't know.
yeah, that's true.
Any bacteria that could possibly be introduced into the stuff after it's done is taken care of. So I
Keep the inside.
think I'm going to keep it on this side. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this.
There we go. Make sure once we get all these other valves and stuff, it's in.
Yeah, gallons.
We are at
5 point what?
yeah, 525, I think.
It's good enough. Done.
You sure?
Yep. Off. Power off.
Nobody got electrocuted.
Nope. Yeah, we survived. We have 5.5 gallons of wort that's going to turn into beer after like 14 days. And so right now we're going to move this into the position where it's going to ferment, and then we will pitch the yeast. So we'll figure that out.
All right.
One.
Oh, man, you told me to do that.
I told you, 5 gallons of beer, man.
Hey.
Why are you going inside?
Oh, no, there's no reason why. I'm gonna take a reading here, and then we're gonna grab the yeast. I'm gonna let you pitch the yeast since it's your thing, and then we'll see what goes on with this. Yeah.
Pretty hazy.
Pretty hazy. It's looking good.
Look, it's like separated. You see that?
All right, that's perfect right there. The final bucket that the CO2 will be.
Yeah, that's probably the best choice right there.
Yep. And then we will pitch the yeast here in just a second. So. Oh yeah, we're up there. See? You see in the orange? Yep. The lower you are on the orange, the better you're.
Oh yeah,
you're
we're
at.
at
So,
1 point, almost 6.
yeah. Okay, so we wanted 1.08. I think at the end of that beer thing, 1.06 is pretty good. So
All right.
we'll see where it ends up on the final gravity, and that'll be the actual true alcohol by volume content. But that's a good starting gravity. So
Yeah, cool.
before fermentation. So
All right, let's
Perfect.
clean up.
let's do it.
Mess that up.
You gotta sanitize the bag.
Sanitize the bag?
Yeah, because
Really?
there can be stuff all on this.
All right.
Here we go. That's it. All right.
Where's that knife at?
Here we go.
There's some solids in there, it looks like.
Yeah.
Check on it tomorrow, so we get some bubbles.
That's it. Let's see what happens.
You didn't know this much work, did you?
It's fun though. Now, leave the top on. I'm gonna open it up for a minute so you can take a look at what it looks like inside, and then I'll start dumping, but I don't want to oxygenate it too much. So.
Right. Oh yeah. Looks like one of those big vats.
Krausen ring on the top. Does it look like a big foamy top? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, good. All right, smash it up.
There we go.
Perfect. All right. Now we'll seal it back up, and then under
That's definitely going to be tropical.
yeah, citrusy. That Simcoe, there's a little bit of pine in it, but I don't really prefer the pine so much. So
Yeah.
What I will tell you, this is gonna be good beer. I can tell.
Sure does smell.
And so normally oxygenation of beer is a problem. You can squirt a little bit of CO2 in there from your thing. I don't think we have a problem today. And then what'll happen is I'll be a lot more careful after the second hop edition. Once I put my stuff on, I can shoot CO2 into it.
That's like when you're welding tubing, you're supposed to backgas stuff and you put inert gas in there so that you don't contaminate the welds.
Yeah.
That's what it kind of reminds me of.
So anyway, that's it. We're still moving. We're looking good.
Yeah.
It's day 2 of fermentation. We're gonna do another dry hop edition in a couple days. And we'll go
Trucking.
from there.
All
Yeah.
right. Ooh. Thing's going crazy in here, man.
Yeah, we probably just gave it a little more fuel. We put that stuff in there.
Stuffed on the gas.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll catch back up with Joe, and
Yeah.
when he does the final fermentation, and maybe he'll record the bottling or whatever you're gonna do. You're gonna bottle it, Rick? Or you gonna
Actually, I'm gonna keg this one.
keg it.
But what I'll do is I have a beer gun, so after it's carbonated and kegged and all that other stuff, I will transfer some of it with a beer gun to bottles, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna ship that your way.
All right, you'll have to film all that stuff so we can get caught up on it.
Yeah. I don't really have a camera like that, but we'll figure it out.
No, the iPhone works great. Yeah.
All right, cool. I've taken you as far as I can take you. The rest of it, we're gonna see what happens. But next time I show up at your house, you're gonna have a brew for me.
Cool. Thanks for watching, guys.
All right, guys.
Hey, thanks for watching my channel. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do for future updates. Remember, build it, don't buy it.
First hop edition. Hey, listen, we're filming here, all right? This is like quiet on the set.
We're playing.
All right, Jack. Quiet on set. All right.
Film me and Hayden fighting.
I'm turning into like DiCaprio over here.